Alright, so I got cut off in the last video. So the chapter challenges, which are the weekly, they're weekly. Here's week 1, for example. There's chapter challenge 1 at the top. They are not included on the final exam. These are just separate chapters that additional chapters that we added to the course. And really what that does is it makes the course a 4-unit course. All right, let's take a look over here at the what's called the content area. We'll take a look at the syllabus, and here we go. In the content area, you can see there's me, TJ Lipinski. There's my physical office in Sims. This is probably how you're going to contact me most. Communicate with me is through email. There's my email address. This phone number is for my office. Not a lot of people call that, but and here are what I'm calling my office hours, or probably most of you would contact me by appointment if you want to do like Skype or FaceTime. And then how to find me on Skype is this file right here. So you'd open this file. All right. So this is here's the Here's the syllabus. Let me open it up. So I'll just briefly talk about it as it comes up here. Oh, sorry, I gotta open it. Alright, so here it comes. I should have already opened it, I'm sorry. So there's the syllabus, and in there is also the schedule. It just basically shows, when the different homeworks are due. Remember, again, the chapter challenges are due on Thursdays. The schedule is due. The homeworks are due on Sundays in general. All right, so here is the syllabus for our summer course. This is just some general information which I just went over. It was also on Blackboard itself. Notice it's a 4-unit class. We're using Tillery, the 10th edition, as the physical science it's called. All right, that should be in the bookstore if you go there. So this is our class, Physics 250, Matter and Energy. Let me skip over this. So the things that are in yellow are basically these are the different chapters of the textbook, but these are what the yellow ones are what we're covering in the chapter challenges, right? So the other things are what we're, like for example, the first test is on motion and energy and heat and temperature, right? And then the next test, it basically goes in threes. The next test is going to be electricity, magnetism, and light, and atoms and periodic properties. And then we do a little chemistry because it's a matter and energy class. It's a mixture of chemistry and physics. So the chapter challenges are these yellow ones. Don't forget that. All right. So, and again, the yellow ones are not. There's a little bit of astronomy towards the end. The yellow ones are not going to be on the final exam. Just these chapters, and of course we'll have tests. We'll have 3 tests. All right. Make sure you have. It says bring a calculator to class. Obviously, there's no physical class, but make sure you have a scientific calculator. One that you can use. You know how to use, I should say, and also that. You know how to use scientific notation. A lot of stuff in the sciences, of course, in physics, deals with really large things, really small things, and so you have to be able to use a scientific calculator. There's a written component of the class which involves what are called essays. Well, what are called? It involves essays, writing 2 essays. They're going to be 100 points each. These are on Blackboard. Let me show you that. Actually, I don't want to go off this page right now. I'll show you in just a minute. So there's 2 essays that you write. It's pretty simple. Just make sure that when you turn it in, there's this thing called safe assignment, where basically Blackboard, it does the same thing as Turnitin, if you're familiar with Turnitin, where it looks on the internet and tries to make sure that there's not, like a matching. But what I do is on these is I give you a free 25%. So you're gonna have up to 25% matching, and your grade is 100. As long as you write the actual essay. The other thing is what I do is if it's more, the final submission that you've submitted to Blackboard for the essays, if it's more than 25%, what I'll do is I'll take 1 point off per percent above 25. All right, like for example, if it was 27% matching, and that's your final version that you turn in, then you'd get a 98 maximum grade. All right, and of course, I have to look at it and make sure that everything is proper. You always have to have also one more little thing about that. You have to have what's called a works cited. So at the very end of the essay, you make sure that you have that works cited. So there's the homework. Let me make sure this is all proper. So make sure you turn in your homework. You don't want to go too much. You don't want to get too far behind with your homework. Always try to keep up. All right. So the attendance is basically I'm going to make and look. I'm not taking actual attendance. Obviously, it's an online class, 100% online class. So what I'll do is make sure that you're turning in something once a week or so. Either a chapter challenge or your 2 homework assignments. Remember, chapter challenges are due on Thursdays, a minute before midnight, and the generally 2 homeworks a week are due on Sundays. About a minute before midnight. All right, so make sure you keep up. It's really easy to get left behind, or get behind, and not do homework assignments and so forth. And if you do, sometimes of course there's reasons for that. You can't control what happens with your loved ones and so forth. So if there's a sickness in the family or something like that, just email me and let me know. This is just the general policy. You have to attend class at least 25% of the time. I'm sorry, you can't miss more than 25%. Make sure that you take the tests during the test times. There's a range of times. Like I'll open up the tests on a certain part of the week, and then you turn them in on Sundays at midnight or a minute before midnight. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Oh, this is here are the tests. These are the dates. This is for, of course, summerB 2017. So there is our first test. It's online. I think I've set these. These are the due dates. So earlier in these particular weeks, I'll release the tests onto Blackboard. You'll be able to see them. So the test count is 15% each. The homework overall, it counts as 10%. The written component, the 2 essays is what I call the written component, 5%. The final exam is 15%, as it says, and then the chapter challenges are worth 25%. So that that's total, like the total part of the class. All right, and grading, whatever you come out to out of 100%. Whatever your grade turns out to be, these are the letter grades that correspond. If you're in the 91 region, of course you get an A minus. Notice I don't have a C minus because generally people. Well, I just don't have a C minus. Let's just leave it at that. Make sure you're not cheating or plagiarizing. And there's other stuff on here. Make sure you look at all that. All right, so and I also have the the schedule towards the towards the end. A lot of this stuff is stuff that they kind of make me put on here. All right, so here's the the schedule. There's a separate file on Blackboard that just shows the schedule, but I also put it on the syllabus just for the heck of it. Notice the homeworks are due on Sundays. Oh, I've said that a bunch of times already. The chapter challenges are due on Thursday. So let's say, for example, here's the first week, 6-5. The first chapter challenge is due Thursday, a minute before midnight, which is the 8th. I mean, you can see all this quite clearly. The first two homework sets, which homework 1 and homework 2. I don't know why that says homework 11. Sorry, that should say homework 2. I guess I'll change that to make sure that that's up to date. Anyhow, homework 1 and homework 2, not homework 11, are due, and it's not 10 o'clock. They're both due at 11:59 p.m. Sorry, I don't know why it says that. It didn't update the newest file. Let's look at the next one. So this is more appropriate. Homework 3 and homework 4 are due on Sunday, which this will be the next week, which is the 18th, and the next chapter challenge 2, is due on the 15th. Right? Notice they're always due a minute before midnight. Okay, and so somewhere down here.